Let us not forget everything that happens is by the will of Allah. It's time to unite and stand, and we will be the best amongst men. It's not time to be extreme or newly unthinkable, but to stand together as one. Into Sunnah followers, streaming every day, various platforms. Trust me, you'll find a way. Sunnah followers.
From Sunnahfollowers. This is from Sheikh Saleh. We need to unite. Sisters, wear your hijab, wear your beards, be proud of your beards. Stay home, stay in your home. Stand up, unite, and stand for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right, Saleh. We all should stand up in solidarity, not transgressing the limits of Allah, but standing together with patience and understanding. This is Sunnah followers.
With dignity, humility, and balance.
This is Yusuf, and this is Ayub. And if you are benefiting like we are from the classes and the ongoing programming, tuning into the Sunnah followers, please donate. Let this be an ongoing Sadaqah Jariyah on your behalf. You're helping the kids, the converts, and everyone seeking knowledge. And it's a wealth of information every day you tune in. Don't forget, you are being rewarded for your generous donations to keep this programming on air. You know, just like what you're hearing, put your dollar where the dollar's at, right here on Sunnah Followers. Don't forget, donate right here to Sunnah Followers and dollars at. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Her name is mentioned in many books such as Bukhari, Muslim, and even Riyadh as-Salihin. Before the Prophet met Khadijah, this woman was his first love, but refused his hand in marriage. Join Ustada lailanasheeba as she takes us on the journey and teaches us the story of Hani. Ready Allah. In alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to miss tonight's heroine of Islam, because most of you Muslims living in the West, and when I say West, I mean America, I mean Europe, you don't know much about the companions, because a lot of the information that comes to you is filtered. They only tell you what they want you to know. Well, how many of you knew that there was a woman who was young, who the Prophet wanted to marry, who was his age, long before he met Khadijah? She was the love of his life. Y'all didn't know that. But he was refused. He tried to marry her twice later. Again refused. So, you do not want to miss tonight's story. And she's a very well-known companion. She's narrated many hadiths. She's the proof that women can wear colors. Because guess what her favorite color was? Yellow. It's in Bukhari. All right, so make sure you guys spread that to people you know. Tonight's heroine of Islam You know, a lot of you women have never been told about her, or if you've learned about her, it was filtered. The brothers didn't tell y'all the details of her because they want to keep you women in the West thinking that you're supposed to be, what's the word they told y'all in South Africa? Invisible. When I keep telling you, nobody puts a Muslim baby in a corner. Muslim women are never put in a corner. We're never invisible. We are acknowledged. All right, so that's tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, right now, this is our 6 o'clock class. Even the class I'm getting ready to teach you guys right now, I'm going to add some information that many brothers probably are not going to like for me to add. Because one thing about lailanasheeba, I don't filter anything. I don't filter my speech, period. Y'all know that. I say it the way it is. And knowledge should never be filtered. You don't tell people half the truth. You tell people the entire truth because that's how you move their hearts. The only way to keep a person's fitra burning is to tell them the entire truth. Don't leave bits and pieces out, because the bits and pieces that you leave out may be those bits and pieces that that person is experiencing in their personal life too, that can give them the hope they need to carry on. So I don't censor anything. And I'm not going to censor it tonight either. Okay? I'm not going to just tell y'all part of something because the person we're speaking about is a famous imam, a famous scholar. I ain't going to give y'all just part of his story. I'm going to give you the bad too, because to show that these men were human. Just like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was human. When we censor, we lose that humanity aspect, which is what the people need to hear. They need to hear that the companions, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that those early scholars were humans. They were not gods. That means they made mistakes just like you. They made mistakes just like me. They did things that you do, such as drugs, alcohol, sex out of marriage. It happens. But these people reform their lives. Remember, guys, it's never too late to turn back to Allah until your soul is being pulled. Okay, and that's why I personally don't censor anything. I didn't censor about Aisha radiallahu anha. I remember when I talked about her back in 2000. It was the year 2000. I'll never forget it. Everybody thought the world was getting ready to come to an end because it was the millennium. I taught the story of Aisha radiallahu anha and how she led an army of over 300,000 men on the battlefield, and how she ordered the execution of 30,000 men to be killed. And I remember when I did that series, I got a lot of complaints. They're like, don't do it, Layla, because the people are too weak to hear it. I said, I don't care. They're going to hear it from me. I was the first to do it. Now everybody's doing her story. Years later, 30, 40 years later. Well, I'm going to break down some stuff this time today too. Okay? So I want you guys to know, what is it that makes our way of life, Islam, better than any other way of life? Is the fact that it's been completed. Number one, completed by Allah. Allah didn't forget anything. Allah didn't leave anything out. whatever is lawful and unlawful, Allah has made it clear to us. That's why I get so upset when these other famous brothers try to tell y'all that some things ain't clear. That's a lie. Allah says the lawful and the unlawful have been clearly told to us. Allah didn't make no mistakes. Allah didn't forget anything. And our Prophet Muhammad told us the things that Allah has not mentioned by name. That means they're all lawful. They're all good and clean. Okay? Well, Allah perfected this religion for us. He didn't forget. He didn't make any mistakes. And not only did he perfect it for us, but he left us beautiful role models and beautiful examples to try and emulate, such as, first of all, the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when I do the heroine of Islam tonight, you will see the manly side of our prophet again, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And not just him, but also those companions who experienced worse than what any of us are experiencing today. That's why I try to tell you Muslims, those of you who are so mentally messed up because of what's going on with Gaza. I'm sorry. What's happening in Gaza is nothing worse than what happened with those companions. And I'm sorry, guys, Gaza is just a repeat. This happened a few years ago in Bosnia too. Y'all forgot that? I didn't. My sister-in-law is Bosnian. I remember when she came to America, her family to protect her from being genocided, when they were killing all the Bosnians, raping the women to put their seed in them. So this history just repeats itself. But no one has suffered more than those companions. And that's why they are great examples for us. Allah left that. He left their stories behind for us to learn from, to find hope. And then we have the early imams, the early scholars. I ain't talking about these come-a-dime people today. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the early scholars who were the inheritors of the companions. There's a lot to learn from them. You know, they were closer to the companions than any of us. Which, oh, by the way, let me mention this because one of the brothers here, I always get these questions from the brothers. One of the brothers here sent me an email today saying, Sister Layla, I was listening to another, I call it the Ruwaybida. Who are the Ruwaybida? They are the internet Islamic influencers on YouTube. Well, he was listening to a very famous one, and he sent me an email. He said, Layla, I was listening, to this brother, and he was saying, that the Muslims today are more knowledgeable and are able to decipher the hadiths better than those early scholars, because the early scholars didn't have the technology that we have today. Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, Tabarani, and all of them, they did not have the technology to research. So they can't verify like we can today. And he was saying that this famous, I call Ruwaybida. Who are the Ruwaybida? Lailanasheeba will tell you they are the social media influencers that you see on YouTube and Facebook giving lectures about Islam. 97, I repeat, 97, I repeat, 97% of the women and men who are on social media lecturing about Islam don't know anything about it. They're lying to you. They're misconstruing the words of Allah. They don't know nothing about the companions. They know nothing of the history of Islam. They take the hadiths and twist them around. They don't even know the lawful or the unlawful. They live on opinion, fatwa. Okay, they're the ruwaybida, the most ignorant people you can come upon who know nothing about Islam, but they can tell you all about the politics of the world. They can tell you all about the psychology of life. That's the ruwaybida. And they are on social media right now talking. They're the people y'all listen to every day who you think are scholars when they're nothing. Well, this person made the comment. And so the brother sent me the link. And I usually don't deal with that. He sent also attached to the email the link to this famous Ruwaybida, that's what he is, lecture that he gave on YouTube yesterday, saying, so I could hear for myself that the person said that we are able to uncover more about whether or not a hadith is authentic because of the technology. And this person has went so far as to say that some of the hadiths in Bukhari are not authentic. Some of the hadiths in Sahih Muslim are not authentic. I told that brother, this person ain't nothing but a denizen of shaitan. That person is nothing but a ruwaybida. Oh, sister, look, he's got 10 million followers. He's famous. Everybody loves him. He's Sheikh so-and-so. I said, he's Sheikh come a dime a dozen. He's trash. And he's ignorant. Because how can you make the statement that because of our technology today, we can verify a hadith better? When there's, no matter how much technology we have, there's one thing that man will never be able to do, and that is to raise the dead. Until you can raise up those dead companions and ask them, did Allah, did the prophet say that? How can you make a statement like that? So I told that brother, you need to stop watching these social media influencers who hide behind the term scholar when they're nothing but trash and denizens of shaitan. They know nothing about this deen until you can raise up those companions and ask them, how can you disprove anything? When those early scholars got their information from the companions and from the tabi'in and from Imam Malik was the governor of Medina. One of his teachers was Asma, who was one of the best students of Aisha, radiyallahu anha. So how can you sit up and say that because of technology today, you can disprove a hadith? Raise up Asma. Raise her up from the dead. Raise up Aisha. You're going to disprove something that Imam Malik said when he heard it directly from Aisha's student. Raise her up. And this is why I tell you Muslims today, you have to stop being so gullible. You guys have to stop being so ignorant to allow these social media influencers to behoove you, to bewilder you, and to bewitch you. This is why your fitra, the fitra keeps dimming. Stop listening to those people. Yeah, we have technology today. So, what that got to do with the cost of tea in China? Yeah, we got some technology, but we can't raise up the dead, can we? Allah says in the Quran that nobody will ever understand this religion better than those original companions and those who came after them. And those who came after them, that's what Allah says. So now you want to, who is this famous loser with all his followers telling you that he can disprove what those companions said when Allah himself says you cannot, that you will never be better than them in your faith, in your practice, nor your understanding? You guys have to wake up, because these men and these women on social media who have you duped, you're giving them the ability to dupe you. Without your support, they would be nothing but revealed as the losers that they are. But you're the ones fueling them, building them up. Stop listening to them. You say you believe in Allah. We all say, La ilaha illallah, we believe in Allah. Then why are you calling him a liar? If you're saying that somebody today, that any of us living on this earth today can be better than any of those originals, those first 3 generations, if you're saying that anyone living on this planet today has more understanding, more knowledge because of technology, then you're saying that Allah is a liar. You're showing that you don't believe in Allah. You're showing that your aqidah is non-existent. And you'll be amongst those people raised up bankrupt on the day of judgment and raised up as a kafir, standing with that man, that social influencer, famous sheikh that you listen to on YouTube, who led you to hell. And he's going to look at you and say, I just said it to get my views. I didn't make you believe me. I didn't get in your heart and make you listen to me. You chose to listen to me. So don't blame me. All I needed was the money to pay my bills. That's what's going to happen. Y'all better get it together. And so today, for this class, well better, we've been focusing in on how it's easy to awaken the fitra in our heart. All it takes to awaken our fitra, our faith, is to first of all hear the words of Allah and really ponder the meaning if you truly believe in him. That'll wake it up. But so it's easy to awaken it, but the hard test, the jihad, is to keep it, to keep the fitra burning in your heart, to keep your heart open to Allah, to keep your heart focused on the hereafter and not this world. And so today we're going to be covering from the book written by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid, and this is the name of the book. I want those of you who may be new learning from me to go to Amazon.com and buy the book. It's called Diluting Well Better. This is volume 2. Buy volume 1 too. Because if you learn what's in these 2 books, you wouldn't be duped by Sheikh Ruwaybida, who's telling you because of technology today, we can disprove some of the hadiths in Imam Bukhari's collection. You wouldn't fall for that nonsense. Because if the principles of wala wa bara are truly understood, you wouldn't fall for that crap. And I'm going to give you an example of a true scholar. A man, we're going to talk today about a true scholar of this religion who was one of the early scholars of this religion. How he started off a bad person, but he ended up becoming one of the best scholars of this deen. And there's no man, no woman, no child, no jinn, no animal on this planet living today who can out-trump him in his knowledge or his understanding of this deen, including Sheikh Ruwaybida, with all his 15 million followers. So I want you guys to take out your book. And tonight we'll begin with, what's the page for tonight again, Mina? What was it? 91. Page 91, I think. And I want everybody to take screenshots of what we're talking about. Imam Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid speaks about this wonderful scholar of Islam, and I'm going to be adding a little bit more too to give you more information about this man who was one of the first scholars of Islam and who's a real scholar. He's not a scholar for dollar like what y'all see on YouTube today. All right, so let's take I want you guys to all my students take screenshots with your cell phones and then print it out at the end of the class. And by the way, guys, please support us. You know, we're almost in the middle of the month and we don't have any money in our account. I'm telling y'all might log on and it won't be no class because the bills ain't getting paid for this website. Subhanallah. And I don't work anymore because I retired. So I can't make up the difference like I've been doing all these years. Let me also put this up here. I'm going to keep this going. And also I did pin up to the top of the page the link to the PayPal site where you can go to PayPal me for anyone who wants to donate. And let me take all this down too. So hold on. All right. I'm going to make it big screen. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The people on Instagram. Hold on. I can see anybody that types on Instagram, inshallah. I got that page opened up too. All right. Now let me go to Zoom. Trovo, you guys are always seen. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. This is it, right? Yeah, that's it. Share. I'm on a different computer, guys. That's why I have to remind myself how to do it. Y'all know I'm using 5 different computers. It's just ridiculous, man. Layla's turned into a... But I got an office. I'm in my office today. Okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. Yeah, that shouldn't... Let me know, somebody, if that ticker gets in the way of the PowerPoint, let me know and I'll take it down, inshallah. And wait, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Wait a minute. The sisters say I didn't share it to their group. Which group are you in? Oh, I'm sorry. Some new group y'all put me in? What you mean it's not in? Oh, I didn't even know y'all added me to that. Y'all keep adding me to all these different groups. Wait a minute. I'm coming in. What's this group here? Okay. I see it. I got you. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, I see that one too. I'm adding it. And while I'm adding you guys to your groups, let me watch myself on my phone too. because I can see if I'm doing okay on the phone or not. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm getting ready to make it big screen, but if that ticker gets in the way, you guys let me know and I'll take it down, inshallah. All right, here we go. As I was saying in my introduction today, you know, if a Muslim, if we truly understand the principles behind wala wa bara, number one, we wouldn't fall victim to the garbage that the Ruwaybida spew out every day on social media, on YouTube and Facebook in their lectures. Also, if we truly understood the principles of wala wa bara, this is how we can catch ourselves when we do mess up, because none of us are perfect. We're human. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not perfect. We all make mistakes. The Prophet Muhammad made mistakes. Some of us make worse mistakes than others. But understanding the principles of allegiance and disassociation is what will bring you back to Allah and cause you to change. And this is what we're going to be speaking about today. And if we look at the history of Islam, there are many, many stories. That's why I tell you guys, I don't believe in sugarcoating this deen. And I am not going to censor. When I teach you about something, I give you the whole thing. I don't censor, because there's many, many stories of people whose lives underwent profound transformations through the guidance of Allah and through intervention. And nowadays, since we're living in the days of the Ruwaybida, many weak Muslims need to hear about these people. They need to hear about the transformations that these famous early individuals went through. And one person who Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd beautifully brings about in his book is a person named Fadyl Ibn Iyad, who was one of the early scholars of Islam. He became a great imam, and his journey of awakening can serve as a great motivation for many of you who are indulging in the same actions that he indulged in. But because he really did believe in Allah, he ended up changing. He ended up igniting the light of his heart, and he went on to become one of the best scholars of all times. Let's talk about his story. Let's talk about his pivotal moment of reminder. Well, for those of you who don't know, Fadyl used to be a highway robber. What was that? Back in the days, the 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, too, even up to the 18th century, we had highwaymen. We had them here in America during the Cowboy Day. That's what Jesse James, Billy the Kid, those were highwaymen. Robin Hood was a highwayman. A highwayman is a person who would rob. They would go and hang out and hide along the places where people traveled. And they would, ambush them, kill them, rob them, steal their money, steal their wealth. So we've had them here in America, especially during the Cowboy Days with Billy the Kid and all of them, and they existed during the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's times too. Well, that's what Fadyl was. He was a Muslim. Yeah, he was Muslim, but hey, he liked that type of lifestyle. He even had a woman that he was in love with. There was a beautiful Persian girl that he was in love with. He would rob, and he used to always send her trinkets. He'd send her bracelets and gold and earrings and makeup and perfume and jewelry. He was in love with this woman, beautiful Persian girl who he wanted to marry. But one day, as he was hanging out in the desert waiting for a caravan to arrive, his life changed. What happened was he got bored. So he decided, let me go see my woman, the girl he was in love with. So he went across the desert, came to a wall, and was trying to climb over the wall so he can go to the other side to hook up with the love of his life. However, Allah intervened. What happened was, as El Fadyl was trying to climb up the wall to go get a little taste, he heard somebody reciting the following words. Somebody was hiding and reading the Quran. And these were the words he heard as he was trying to climb over that wall. The words were, has not the time come for the hearts of those who truly believe to be affected by Allah's reminder? Subhanallah. That's when the fitra in his heart sparked. Those words struck a chord within El Fadyl. It made him say, wait a minute. Here I am trying to climb over this wall to go get a taste from this woman who is not even my wife lawfully. And I've been robbing people of their money. Subhanallah. He said, instead of going over here to commit sin, he said, it's time that I change myself. So he jumped down from the wall he was trying to climb over. And he went and found a cave, some ruins of a town in the desert. And he climbed into the ruins and decided to rest there for the night. And while he was resting near a cave in these ruins, he encountered a group of travelers. He saw them, but they didn't see him. This was a caravan of travelers. They were trying to travel, but they were afraid. They were talking about him. They were afraid and hoping and making dua. They were praying to Allah that he didn't ambush them. They said, this is the area that El Fadyl is known for raiding and robbing and killing. They said, oh Allah, please let us make it through this area safely without us losing our property or losing our lives. When El Fadyl heard their fears, that's when he said, Subhanallah, here I am spending the night in sin, getting ready to go over there to get a little taste from his girl. He said, here I am spending the night in sin while Muslims fear me. He said, perhaps Allah has guided me to this moment to learn a lesson. Perhaps Allah wants me to abandon my sinful ways. Motivated by this moment, that's when El Fadyl immediately turned to Allah. And he turned to Allah, he raised his hands, and he said, oh Allah, forgive me of all my transgressions. Oh Allah, I promise that if you forgive me, I will live near Beit el-Haram. He said, I will go to Mecca. And by the way, El Fadyl was born, he was from Persia, a different place, Uzbekistan, that's right. They say he was from Uzbekistan. He was born in Uzbekistan. But he was of Persian and Arabic blood. I think some people say his mother was Persian and his father was Arabic. And some other people say his father was Persian and his mother was Arabic. However it was, but he was born in Uzbekistan. He was born in Uzbekistan, but he was a very handsome man. Okay, he was half Persian and half Arabic. Okay, he was Muslim. Okay, into Islam. So he made this promise. He said, "Oh Allah, if you forgive me, I promise I will go to Mecca and I will make Mecca my home and I'll start practicing my deen." And that's when he began his journey of repentance. We talked about that. Something can happen in our life. For a lot of us, it's a near-death experience. For other people, it could be something bad happening, like losing your job. But for many of us as humans, it takes something bad happening in our lives for us to look at ourselves and realize how sinful we've been doing. And then we think about the blessings of Allah and we turn to him, and we begin our journey of repentance, just like Fadyl did. Fadyl's awakening ignited a remarkable transformative journey. Let me tell you what he did. He reached out to all the people he robbed, all the people's families whom he hurt, and he made amends by repaying whatever he stole from them. We talked about that. If you commit a sin, part of the repentance is if the sin entailed harming someone, you have to make the restitution. He was a robber, so he had to go to all the people he stole from and return or repay them or make amends for what he did. So with humility and sincerity, he went to them seeking their forgiveness for all his past doings. But there's something I need to remind you guys of. One thing about Fadyl, like I said, he was Muslim. He was Muslim. He just was sorry when it came to practicing. He used to do all 5 of his prayers, believe it or not. He prayed 5 times a day. He fasted the month of Ramadan. But he just chose to earn his living by robbing people and don't love nobody. It's hard for a man to resist being with a beautiful woman. That was his downfall, because they say he was extremely handsome, the beautiful women and the money. What is it that takes most of you brothers out? Many of you young brothers here in America, especially you African-American brothers, you guys tell me all the time, "Oh, Sister Layla, my weakness is pretty girls and money, pretty girls and the fast money." Well, look at Fadyl. That was his weakness. Pretty girls and the money, the fast money. But he kept praying. He prayed all 5 of his prayers. He fasted the month of Ramadan. And when he had men working with him to rob, he told them, "Don't rape the women." So he was that good. He said, if the women don't want you, don't take them by force. Do not rape these women. If the women in it, because that's always a man's weakness, the women. Don't rape the women, let the women go. But take the money or whatever want. If the woman wants you, do what you want with her. He said, but don't rape her. Okay? So through his awakening, it took that happening for him to realize how far he deviated from Allah. But look how sincere he was in turning back to him. And it just goes to show Allah works in mysterious ways. Everybody has a story. This is why my students, I tell y'all, I could care less about conversion stories. There's a lot of, you go to these MSA events, you go to these conferences, you go to these women who own YouTube, these women, these Muslim women who have YouTube channels. They making money off of you telling you their conversion stories. Everybody got a sad sob story because Allah ignites our hearts in different ways. But the question is not, how did you convert? The question is, what have you done since you converted? And that's what we can say with Fadyl Ibn Iyad. What did he do after his fitra was awakened? Well, he went through the journey of transforming his life. He did move to Mecca. He began to hang around with people who were sincere with the religion. He stayed away from those people who were not. He began a whole journey of trying to learn this religion and learn it the correct way, and in turn, teach it with others. Teach it to others. And look what he became. He became one of the best imams of all times. We all got a story. What's your story? The question is, what have you done since you realize the evils that your story contains? Did you do like Fadyl did? Stop robbing? Stop with the women? He got married, by the way, okay? Change your life for the better? Well, like I said, the big thing here to ponder is he never abandoned his prayers. No matter what corruption he did, he never abandoned his prayers, nor did he abandon the fast. He fulfilled his obligations to Allah. So he really did believe in Allah. He just was weak. And that's what happens, guys. If that belief is truly in your heart, if the principles of wala wal bara truly are in your heart, they will drive you to want to change. They will drive you to, number one, become more loyal to Allah. They will drive you to, number two, work on your values. Personal loyalty requires steadfastness of faith. Personal loyalty requires that you live in harmony with the Islamic values. You know, Ibn Iyad, that's why I call him Ibn Iyad. Ibn Iyad, you know, he prayed, he fasted, but he wasn't in harmony with it. Once that flame was reignited in his heart, now he did his prayers. Now he did his fasting in harmony, and he did them realizing the closeness that they bring him to Allah. Okay? Also, if you understand the principles of allegiance and disassociation, if that belief in Allah is sincere in your heart, in other words, it'll cause you to choose positive influences like he did. It'll cause you to distance yourself from negative ones. See, the faith was already there. That's why I tell you guys, you're not a revert. You're not a revert. Because your fitra has never left. It's there. It's in each and every one of us. It's never not been there. Okay? But it's a matter of how strong it is, how you're nurturing it, how you're growing it. Well, his fitra was there. His understanding of la ilaha illallah was there. And alhamdulillah, it caused him to choose to change for the better. It caused him to distance himself from that which contradicts la ilaha illallah. So by surrounding ourselves with positive influences and distancing ourselves from negative ones, that's how we grow. And that's how he grew. This includes being mindful of the company that we keep, the media we consume. That's why I keep telling so many of you, a lot of you will come here and with the same problem. Layla, I'm lonely. Layla, I this, I'm sad, I'm this. Yeah, you keep on watching them same YouTube channels. You need to stop hip hopping from YouTube channel to YouTube channel and instead work on yourself. Because I can tell you, I can ignite your light. If you believe in Allah, if anyone truly believes in Allah, come to my website. We will awaken your light if you truly believe in Allah. But I can't keep it burning. All I can do is pick you up. All I can do is reignite it. But the work has to come from you. You have to keep that light alive. And you're not going to keep it alive by hip-hopping to different YouTube channels, listening to these Ruwaybida who keep taking you back to that dark point. I take you out of darkness and they put you back in it. I tell you what your rights are as a woman, how Allah didn't make no mistake creating you, but y'all go back in and they strip you back down to invisibility. I can reignite your light, but only you can keep it burning. So this is what I wanted to go over today. Subhanallah, and Ibn Iyad, he's just one. He's just one of so many famous true scholars of Islam, who we could really be inspired from, to show that this misconception that Muslims today have, that these social media influencers that y'all listen to are gods, they're nothing. Boy, if I was a bad girl, but I'm not, I could tell y'all some stories about these famous brothers. Woo-wee! I can make your head swim. And I'm talking sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I'm talking sex out of wedlock, drugs, and rock and roll, if y'all only knew. Be careful. Be careful. Looks are very deceiving. We're all human. And each and every one of us as Muslims, we are caught up in this battle against the shaitan, this battle against our jinn, this battle between the soul and the heart. The soul and the heart. The soul and the heart. Most of you brothers, I'm talking to the brothers now because this is the brother that he's here, the one that came to me with what he heard this famous Ruwaybida say yesterday. I want you brothers to know the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the greatest weakness that he leaves behind for all of you men is women. That's the problem. You men fall for sex. You fall for sex. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said marriage is half your deen. It doesn't mean that because you got married, all of a sudden knowledge of Islam comes down on you. No. The Prophet Muhammad said the two main reasons as to why most people will end up in hell is because they couldn't control their tongue or they couldn't control their private parts, having sex out of wedlock. The Prophet said, get married, and that takes care of the sex thing. And then you can work on the other half, which is your tongue. That's what that hadith means. Okay? So that's why I tell you, brothers, get married. That'll take away that desire to have sex with all these Nicki Minaj women y'all with. And then once you get married, you can work on, your tongue, the slander, the kafir calling and all of that. But sex, that's a problem that all men have to work their way through. You ain't the only one. What man is not charmed by a beautiful woman? Fadyl was, but he changed it. And he ain't the only one. Okay? So it's never too late to change the condition of yourself, guys, to that which is pleasing to Allah. It's just that you have to be sincere. You have to want it. You have to want it like he did. He wanted to change. He moved away, went to El Haram, to Mecca, to surround himself with righteous people who can keep him strong. Are you brothers doing that? Or are you still hanging out with your Kafir friends, hanging out with Muslims that don't practice, that do drugs, that have girlfriends? Change your environment. Change your companionship. Stop watching the losers that make you laugh on YouTube. And instead listen to those brothers on YouTube that make you cry. And it ain't but a couple of them. Listen to the ones that make you cry. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said beneficial knowledge is not knowledge that makes you laugh. Beneficial knowledge is that which makes you break down and cry and want to change the condition of yourself. Listen to that brother, not the one that's making you laugh. All right? Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or comments? And do you brothers get it? You young brothers here, y'all get it?
It's a good reminder that the companions were not untouchable. They were humans. I feel like it's so hard to relate to them because it's so easy to say, oh, they were with the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like, they were the best of this nation. Allah guided them. He inspired them. But the fitra is the same in everyone. They just took the steps to keep it enlightened, like you said.
Exactly. And tonight, guys, I'm going to do the story of one of the heroines of Islam. I want y'all to be here because very few Muslims in the West, like I said earlier, know that there was a woman that the Prophet was in love with before he met Khadijah. Do y'all think that he went all those years? He was 40 years old when he married Khadijah. Y'all think that he went 40 years without a woman taking his heart? There was one woman who the Prophet was really in love with, but she wouldn't marry him because of his social status. And even after years later, they were great friends. They were relatives. That was his cousin. And even years later, when her marriage to her husband was invalidated, he asked her to marry him again. And again, she turned him down. And then a few years later, she finally went to him and said, okay, Muhammad, let's do this. Let's get married. He said, I can't. Allah just sent down the verse saying I can't. You know, the Prophet Muhammad was human too. He was a man too. So make sure you guys are here for that story tonight, because I'm going to tell you the story of Hani, but I'm going to tell you about Hani what these brothers don't. She was the first love of the Prophet, the love before Khadijah. Subhanallah. It ain't just about Aisha. I keep telling y'all that. Y'all think that, please. No. All right. Okay, so that's going to be at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to close out for now. Make sure that everybody is here at 9 for the story of the heroines of Islam. And by the way, let me show an excerpt of that again. Yeah, let me put it. Yeah, I did that excerpt. Let me show it here. Her name is mentioned in many books, such as Bukhari, Muslim, and even Riyadh as-Salihin. Before the Prophet met Khadijah, this woman was his first love, but refused his hand in marriage. Join Ustada lailanasheeba as she takes us on the journey and teaches us the story of Hani. Ready, Allah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be tonight at 9 o'clock. Make sure you guys are here for that, inshallah. And please support us. We are desperately, you guys know my anxiety is off the hook about this website. Man, we don't have but $100 in our account because they took out the streaming bill. Subhanallah, guys, please support this dawah effort. If you want to continue to learn Islam in its truthfulness, with the understanding of the companions, please support us. We are a nonprofit organization. All your donations go to pay this website expense. Unlike those social ruwaybida that y'all listen to, y'all making them rich. Those young men and women don't work. They don't have to work because they make it. Google them. Just Google. It shows what their net worth is. Because any money that you make off of YouTube becomes public knowledge. Google those brothers, and it's going to show. Y'all going to be shocked. Them brothers making money like Will Smith. $23 million. $10 million. All of it off of YouTube. Because of your hits. And these are young men and women. They need to go out and get a job. Well, here at Sunnah Followers, you know, it don't go in our pockets because we're nonprofit, number one. And number two, you know, we don't need no handouts because I'm a retired woman. I worked for the government for 36 years, and alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, I get a nice retirement check. Anybody in America can tell you, Layla's well set because I retired after 36 years. 36 years tells you a lot. That chick got money. So I don't need nobody's money. But this website does. So please, guys, because my money is for me. I'm high maintenance. I'm not no low-class chickie. Y'all see how I dress? High maintenance. So please, guys, I don't have no money to spare for the website because I need to pay. I ain't got no main either. Layla ain't got no main. I live by myself with my cats, and I lost one. May he be a great intercessor for me. I lost Sammy. Y'all know that. So I ain't got but 2 cats. And that's it. Cat lady. What's my kunya? Jamali told y'all my kunya, Hurayra. Don't nobody even know that. Guess what my kunya is? Hurayra. Jamali knows. It's Hurayra. Okay, so anyway. Please, guys, support this website because I can't. I got my own money to pay. They going up on Layla's rent. Be about to pay $2,000 a month rent. Man, nobody got time for that. So please, guys, and look at the blessings y'all get for supporting this website because any Muslim that listens to anything from here and learns, you get the reward. This is ongoing charity for you that you need to get through that grave. Subhanallah. So please support it. Okay, so I'm going to log out for right now, and I'll be back at 9 with the story of the woman who was the Prophet Muhammad's first love and his last. And his last, to be honest. All right. Okay, so subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta